Hello, friends. We'll see how this goes because my internet connection has been just absolute trash the last, I don't know, couple months. Ever since they upgraded the service, it's been terrible. So if we have dropouts, we'll have dropouts. Anyhow, let me set up my chat and link up the Discord. Hold up, getting a link, copying a link. Wereworm is here. Hello, Wereworm. Good to see you. Dropping the link in the Discord. Dropped. Done. Don't have to worry about that ever again. So, where are we? As usual, I suppose I can recap a bit on what I've been doing, which is, as usual, a bunch of stuff that is not this, which is why you haven't seen me. But, yeah, I've just been being my usual self and futzing around with a million things. I was talking on the... Certainly I didn't have this the last time we streamed, did we? I've been working on the PCB Fab lab, and this is what I used to use to program my Lattice CPLDs. It has been ripped to shreds now because I have already stolen shit off of it. But yeah, it's a parallel port JTAG programmer. And I built this, which is Exposure. This is my homebrew my homebrew PCB Fab version, which I think came out pretty okay. The resolution is pretty good on the traces. My hold down kind of sucked on cutting out the board, so that's why this, and that's why that wire, because it ate one of my wires going over there, but whatever. But generally, it's pretty good. So, that was fun. This works. I really need to get like a parallel port extension cable for it, because plugging it into the back of a computer every time I want to program a CPLD is not amazing, but it works, so that's fun. That was a big project that I finished. So PCB is going good. It's fun. I'm trying other things now. Besides that, I mean, I've been getting back into console stuff, which is funny because this is a channel about me hacking consoles. So, yeah. But I've actually been playing with my GameCube a bit because don't tell the government or Nintendo. But I proposed to my wife the other day. I said, "You might like Luigi's Mansion." I've watched it be played, but I've never really played through it. So that could be fun. And she said, "No, okay, sure." And then I decided to go look on eBay, and they're like friggin' $70 a pop to get a copy of that. So I decided pirating was just a way better thing to do. Don't follow my advice. I don't. This is not a recommendation. This is not legal advice. Yeah, so I modded my GameCube, which was fun, which took me down a rabbit hole. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff related to that. I have tried to modify my PlayStation, which is supposed to be fairly easy, but apparently I fucked that up because that mod's not working, and I haven't gotten back to it. But I really want to. I'm using the PSNE 80 mega AVR based mod chipping thing, and I think I screwed up the code a little bit, so it's probably just that. But yeah, lots of little things that I just haven't forgotten. AIO Incorporated says convenient. I just got home too. I aim to please. And Wereworm said the biggest problem with homemade PCBs is the lack of through-hole plating and missing solder mask. I don't really care so much about the solder mask. I might if I were doing different things. It's not really a problem for me. But yeah, the through-hole plating is... It causes design problems. You have to decide which parts you're going to use as vias, unless you just want to, like, make your own vias. Darren Clark says, "Oh no, don't copy that floppy!" And AIO says, "Currently photo staging for my hard disk project too." aren't all of your projects hard drive projects? Okay, let's try and get into it, because it's been a bit. My desk is just in the most disarray of disarrays. You can never see the worst part. The worst part's like over here. It's in really bad shape right now. But it should be all software today. So I think for starters, let's see if we can just eject this cartridge firstly, which seems to be jammed in here in a very odd angle. There we go. And I want to put the NES back together. Is what I want to do. Here's a thing, though. We have to. One question that's on my mind is how are we powering the floppy? Because we've been through that before. We have answered that question in the past. I feel like we're kind of back at square. What the fuck? We're kind of back at square one with that again. Make sure there's no shit just hanging out in here. So, do I just go back to powering the floppy externally and not worrying about it, about the NES and the floppy being reset at the same time? I don't know. I do not know. But I think that's what I'm just going to go back to for now. I don't think that was causing the majority of my problems. Because we have read stuff off of a floppy before. Months and months and months ago. And I keep going back to that refrain over and over and over again. It is, we did it once. I swear to God, we did it once. We did also, as mentioned, I blew up a floppy drive, so hopefully I don't want to do that again, ideally. But, yeah, to the point. Today should be almost all software. So let me go find the lid for this thing and put it back on, which is definitely going to mean that nothing is going to work, because that, once you button it up without testing it, that means it's not going to work. But I'm going to play with that dragon's tail. I'll be right back. The thing is, at this point, it's been so long, I don't even know where, any of the screws are. I'm sure I put oh, I think I know where they are. I think I see them. I probably won't go to the trouble. Probably. Well, you know what? Let's take this one step at a time. I'm just going to put the lid on and make sure that I can actually, run the stuff with the hood closed. So firstly, a thing that I know is going to be an issue is... Okay, this is the one bit of hardware stuff we're going to do. I'm going to solder some ground pins to the front edge of this card so that I can actually... For the serial connection, two things I need are ground and the data transmit wire. Hey, it goes in. But the ground I have available to me is around the side of the cartridge. So that's not really gonna work. The real question is, do you think I can line this up and actually get it in there? What I should do is, surely somewhere I have an open card. I could just use the back of it. One would think I do. Yes, I do. Ye old SMB. To which, of course, I have the front, but not the back. Why would that be the case? It's probably just somewhere under all these piles of junk on my desk. I will read chat at some point too, by the way. Boop, 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 boop. Do I just open another cartridge and say fuck it? is that what I do? I think I might open the cartridge I opened tonight. Okay, Zelda, not opening that. Final Fantasy, definitely not opening that. Duck Hunt, definitely opening that. And theoretically, I should actually have a Nintendo safety bit around here somewhere. Theoretically. From opening the GameCube and all. And then I just took all of that shit and just brought it back here and just pooped it right onto the desk. In such a way that it's probably here somewhere. Probably. Oh, is that you? Yes. Yes. Well, that's the wrong security bit. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh my goodness. Chat has taken off. Suzuki Hyakura has said, any chance you ever modded or heard of modding the Xbox by replacing the 733 megahertz processor with the 1.4 gigahertz one? It's an old mod I saw once in a forum probably a forum from the early 2000s, but nothing else. That sounds insane. I have actually never heard of that. I've heard of a lot of replacing PowerPC processors on Mac CPU daughter boards, like replacing them with IBM parts that were never actually used in Macs and that are crazy fast. And that's wild because it's all a bunch of crazy BGA rework stuff. But I've heard of that. But I have not heard of doing that with the Xbox. I didn't know. Where on earth does this faster CPU come from? Because the Xbox has a weird CPU. Like, I don't think anything else uses that CPU. Oh, wait. I'm thinking of the Xbox 360. Why am I... No. So this is just the original Xbox. Right. Okay, so you're just replacing it with like a Pentium M or something. That is quite interesting. Wait, theoretically this cartridge goes in here? You know? Theoretically? Of course there is something in the way. Yeah, I think I might have to nibble out that whole corner. But also, I might just be able to say, I don't really care. And just ignore it and just shove it in. Because all I'm using this for is a spacer. And my floppy drive goes flopping. Well, this was an interesting and doomed experiment. Hey, okay, that seems like something. Okay, how about we unplug the floppy drive? Fun thing is, like, none of the registration features are on the back of the cart. They're all on the front of the cart. Yeah, this was a doomed idea. I think I need to take the floppy cable all the way out. I think I can only put it in after the cartridge has been closed. Okay, after all that work, screw the back. I'm probably just gonna go back to not like taking the top off this thing again. Because this is way too fucking fiddly. Way too fucking fiddly. The cartridge is like crazy deep in there now. Yeah, I went over the top. Amazing. Okay, let's just do this. Let's just do this. Fuck it. Put that in there. Close it. Yay, hooray. Put the lid back on top. And then attempt to plug the floppy cable back in. A smart person would have gotten a right angle connector and had it sticking out the front, but it's not as fun. This is clearly way more fun. Then you can put the floppy back in. Yay! And then remember that we have to attach a ground. Yeah, good job, guy. So undo all of that. Take the cartridge back out. Remove the floppy cable. Okay, all right. Grab some headers. Put the headers in the thing. Apply heat. Take the lid off. Put the cartridge in. Close the cartridge thing. Put the lid back on top. Turn off the soldering iron before you hurt yourself. Plug in the cable, which will inevitably eject the cartridge. Put the cartridge back in. Okay, wow. I think we're in business. Now the next thing is power, because the power's not actually plugged into this. I checked. Now you might say, why didn't you just like prep all this before you started shooting? Because that's less fun. And I'm here. I'm about max fun. We have power. Now, do we have video? We got video. Sick. All right. Let us pull up Visual Studio Code. Get our build system back up. And start cranking, brother. I'll make sure I still understand the way that I wrote my build system, because obviously it's been a while. And then we will lock and frickin' load. Okay, I have done something horrible to my Visual Studio Code window where I can't drag it around the screen. That is normal and fine. Cool, good enough. Alright, now I just gotta close all of the random shit. This is mostly Game Boy stuff that is up here. I was playing with multi-boot stuff, which I haven't done since I was a teenager, which was fun. But what we need is... Where are we going? J. Marlin... Documents. It's just a PC. NES. Source. Sure. And I did not click open folder. Professional. J. Marlin. Documents. It's just a PC. NES. Source. Go now. Go now, make do. Okay. And let's see if I can remember. Oh, we just have like a script, right? Oh boy. What was it? What did I call it? It was probably a PS1 because everything I do is PowerShell. Build ram.ps1? I bet it's doing something. But God, if I know what. Could not find file com9. Probably because I still haven't plugged in the serial doodad. So maybe let's do that. Which will involve finding a cable. That God knows whether I have or not. I had it before, but now who knows? That's the way it goes. Well, I guess at the very least I can get this done. Then we need ground, which should hopefully, these should be grounds now. If I actually soldered them correctly. And I'm just looking for wires on my desk because that's normal and the way that you should store your things. I need a female to female. We need TX to this little pin in here. I think it's plugged in. I really have no idea. Let's see if the cartridge is still connected. It is. Okay, so I need to find a USB Mini B, which I had one on my desk for many a time, and it has now effed off into the wild blue yonder. So maybe now is the time that I talk to chat a little bit. This backer person is talking about my mic. Yeah, it's probably because there's a whole bunch of crap going on in my house. Lots of terrible audio quality. Anybody else let me know if I have bad audio, but none of my regulars have mentioned anything about it, so I don't think it's significant. Okay, Wareworm said, destroyed all the chips today on my breadboard by using an old 12-volt supply. Turns out the LD1117 is only good up to 15 volts, and the idle output of the supply was over 16. What were you building, Wareworm? That is a tragedy, though. Darren said, I love where this project's going. It is an unbelievably awesome repurpose of hardware. I appreciate that. That's high praise. It's mostly just here to be stupid. I said, need a spare drive. Happy to drag one down to you at VCF. Yeah, man. And we've talked. I could use things that I could by myself, but probably won't. So if they were to show up, that would be useful. Definitely a 5 1/4 inch drive, because somehow I don't have a single one. Not a regular one. I have Apple II ones. And an MFM drive would be neat, because that would be fun to play with. Because I don't have enough things to play with. Darren says, would like to see some more videos on the VAX. I just bought a VAX Station 3100 and got it working with an HP LCD that supports Sync on Green. Sick. They're fun. I haven't touched that thing legitimately since the last time. Like, I did the one stream about trying to net boot it off the info server that, as with most of my things, did not go well. But they are very fun. But I have too many things to put with. Suzuki is also offering their apologies to Wareworm. Backer talking about the audio. Wereworm saying 7805 could stomach up to 35 volts. Dang. Yeah, and messages from Dave, which is he's the top patron of my Patreon that doesn't exist. The Xbox CPU mod is iffy since it is a BGA original and you have to have an interposer. There are actual multiple Pentium 3s you can use on the interposer. Ah, interesting. Yeah, Dave said it's just a laptop P3. That's what I thought, because it was like a mobile thing. That's all I know about the Xbox CPU. AIO said, Xbox has a Coppermine Pentium 3. 1.4 is an existing part. Suzuki says, the person basically desoldered and replaced the CPU with a Pentium equivalent and supposedly worked out of the gate. I doubt it's that straightforward. Dave said, if you have a modded Xbox, there's a 50% chance you've got one with my BIOS code in it. Yes, I forget that Dave was an Xbox person. Mention Xbox, this will come up. Backer said, everyone just hates when he looks away when you send a message in the chat. Suzuki said, I do not. It's OG lol with a graphite pad instead of thermal paste and a 66-lane IDE cable instead of 33. Meant to update hard drive to SSD at some point, but it would need to be modded then. Suzuki says, that sounds cool though. Dave said, wrote the first driver for OG Xbox that could use a 20 terabyte SATA drive via a StarTech adapter. Also wrote the code for the first modded BIOS that will give plain text messages instead of the useless 2-digit error codes. That sounds useful. Suzuki said, oh my, I didn't know it supported that much. It's quite impressive, and the more detailed error messages seem amazing just hearing about it. I always like more detail when figuring out what broke. Father's Chinese code report thing for his car has random number and letter designations that makes it a pain to do anything. Yeah, I mean, that's just OBD2. That's what you get. Dave says, original BIOS code had the 137 gig limit, then some BIOSes came out with LBA 48 code, but they only implemented 32-bit LBA. I rewrote chunks of the FATX driver and IDEX driver to support full LBA 48. Pat yourself on the back there, Dave. Suzuki said, any chance you have a hackaday or whatnot? I'm not sure if he mentioned it, but yeah, he most definitely does. Wereworm said something embarrassing that has since been deleted. AIO said, there's popping and clicking in your audio, but that's it. My audio sucks, I'm sorry. Everyone's used to it. Yeah, Dave said, we're all used to the RF noise in the audio. I have no clue where it comes from. I think maybe my house is just like haunted, because it's been there when I was using a lav and a cell phone. It's been there when I was just using my cell phone by itself with the cell phone mic. It's there right now when I'm using a little Porta Studio with mics on it that's just plugged into my line in on my computer. It's been there when I was using my my Bluebird condenser mic through a mixing desk into a nice interface. It's just, I don't know what the hell. Haunted. Worm says, Dave, why 137 gig? Can you explain? I'm just kidding. Because LBA 28, Dave said. That actually is an interesting question to me. I never really thought about wondering why that specific number. Dave said he and Darren should talk vaccine. Yeah. I mean, Dave's got a finger in every pot, but he's also a big vax person, so seriously, reach out to him. He's good. AIO said, MFM drive. I'll try and find a working example I've got that's a duplicate. Definitely got one somewhere for you. Nice. I like free things. I can throw you a couple bucks. AIO said, if you think you could repair this damaged ribbon cable on an ST251, you can have it. What are we talking like a flat flex, or are we talking like IDC? Because I'll try and fix an IDC. That's not a problem. I'm not going to try and fix a flat flex. And Dave said, it almost sounds like isobus noise you get on noisy isobus systems with Creative Labs cards. That's got to be it. The irony is I'm not running a single old PC here. Well, that's not entirely true. No, actually, technically I am not running a single one because they're all off. I have a Pentium 3 system and a Pentium 4 system over there, and I do use them occasionally, but I don't have anything old. I have my Pentium machine, but it was torn apart, and I actually tried to put it together a little while ago, and it did not boot, but I said, flat flex. Oh, head amp cable. Ooh. 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 Part of me wants to be like, yeah, I'll give that a try, but I will probably just destroy it. Yeah, Dave is talking about his Hackaday fax serial mouse emulator thingy. Find him there. And Wareworm said, I think the interference sounds more like USB. If you guys can deal with it, it is what it is. Okay, now back to business. I need to find that micro B, which I have somewhere. The annoying thing is right here, this cable that's going up to that camera is a micro B. So if I just decide not to have overhead cam, then we could just use that cable. But what I'm going to wait, am I crazy? No, dang. I thought I saw something, but actually what I saw was nothing. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I know we have only just begun, but I am going to slap a pause on here for a second, find that cable, chat with my wife for just a hot minute, and then I will be right back, and we will get to their codes. And that's all. Ta-ta, I will see you in just a moment. Okay. So this cable is exactly where it should be. That's pretty much all I need to say about that. Also, as far as the sound, it only now occurs to me, my wife is giving the baby a bath. So there is, and you know, like the pipes are right there. So there's also just like a loud noise of water flowing behind me. So maybe that. Bam. Bam. Power. Okay, let's see what ports we have available to us. Let's see if this just goes, because that would be cool. Yay! It just goes. Sick as hell. So let us reset. I'm just going to run it one more time just for sanity checking. I should put more messages in there because it is very, very annoying how quiet it is. But it builds. Super cool. Let me see what chat has been saying. Get myself a beverage, and then we will try moving some floppy code over. Opening a bottle that way doesn't really work on wood. But HDX shelving works great. What you saying? Who you saying? AIO sent me images of the damaged drive. I mean, I'll take it either way. I'll take it. Just bring it. Suzuki talking about FedEx breaking shit. Where said, isn't it possible to recreate the cable in PCB design software and have it made by a PCB manufacturer? Oh! Actually, yeah, because a lot of them do flat flex now, don't they? Except that I bet that would be way more expensive than just getting a working drive. But that's a fun idea. And I mean, you know, it's bringing stuff back from the dead, so. AIO said, otherwise I've probably got some other drives around here that will do the job. ST412 is the classic, if you want to be a cool kid. But they've got other stuff around. I'll take whatever. I really will. Throw some shit in your car. I'll just try and keep reminding you. Worm said, open the bottle with Emacs. I've heard it can do anything. Okay, on that note. So what we've got going on, let me switch back to, here we go. So right now, what we've got, if you haven't been following along, which I understand many people haven't because these have been few and far between, so the ROM has a serial bootloader on it, and it's booting off of bitbang serial off of one of the ports that the floppy drive exposes, actually the drive detect pin. So we're using that to do bitbang serial read, and the NES is reading a payload at boot time, throwing it into RAM, and then jumping to it. So, what we've got is this script builds, it assembles our source, builds it into a payload, then sends that payload over serial, bada bing, bada boom, so we can just reset this thing and keep sending code. So now the next thing is to rip all of the floppy shit out of the ROM and jam it in here, basically. So we can test it and test it and test it again. So I do need to get power to the floppy, but for starters, let's just get that stuff over, make sure it builds, all of that good stuff. So let's see, basic.asm is the ROM source, and it's going to be fun because this is the only, I use a MacBook all the time these days, and the only time I'm on a Windows machine is basically doing this. So remembering to scroll the correct direction, always fun. But let's see, I need to find where the floppy stuff starts. This is all boot up code. Boot up code, boot up code, boot up code. Serial boot code. Garbage code. And then we've got attempt read sector. And we'll just keep selecting until... Here, you know what? I'll do this the Vimish way. Alright. And I know, like, this code doesn't quite work. But, at the very least, we can try and figure out why. Oh, and then there's this play square A function. And is this in the middle of our floppy code? Maybe. Let's just keep scrolling. Yeah, because now there's more floppy stuff down here. So I'll just copy that over too and chop it out. Floppy stuff, floppy stuff, floppy stuff. Recalibrate. Sense interrupt. Recalibrate failed. Seek drive. Select drive. Oh, also, I don't know if it's worth getting into today, but I would, because we technically have a 6502C compiler installed right now, because we're using the assembler for that C compiler. And writing some of this floppy code in C feels like it might be more efficient for my time. But getting those builds set up and getting the environment for entry into C set up properly, I don't know. That will probably take a bit of time, and I'm not sure if I'm willing to deal with it right now. Send FTC check, send FTC command fail, read FTC data, next FTC read count do loop, read FTC check, read FTC data fail, wait FTC, wait FTC seek, check, wait FTC IRQ. Get serial. Okay, I think we're finally past all of the old floppy stuff. Yes, because now we get into the monitor. Lovely, lovely. So I think one of the... We're going to have to chop out that audio code, which is to be expected. And also references to... so the string printing we can do because that's in the Hello World sample that we had going on. We actually, over in the symbols.txt file, I exported some of the symbols, and one of the most important ones is print string, which is F674. So if we just reference F674 in our code, then it will just jump to that spot in the ROM and work great. It would also be very nice if I had published the monitor entry, because that's what I was getting at. Is I think that is probably the other major thing in this current floppy code, is that it has references to calling into the monitor, and I clearly did not expose that here, but we can do that in a minute. Let's just start by I assume this has EQU for defining a symbol, maybe, because I can define print str as did I delete the Hello World code? I did. Oh no, I didn't. F674. So I'm going to delete this, but I will redefine printster as F674, so that should just like make all of those references work. Theoretically. Then delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this. And that's like half the work. Alright, where's the audio code? The audio code is hiding. The audio code is hiding. Here it is. I recognize this table. Place where a delete. Okay, so I think the last thing, actually, let's just look for any JSRs. FTC init, that is in this code. FTC select drive, that is in this code. FTC seek drive, that is in this code. FTC set buffer, that is in this code. FTC read sector, that is in this code. Oh, what did I just... Interesting. Yeah. So let me. Here's what I'll do. I'm just going to. Firstly, if I'm going to be standard about my casing, I might as well do that. Let's look for all JMP inits. Cool. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and replace those with Let's see, replace JMP init with JMP uppercase init. And then when we build this, it is going to kvetch that it doesn't know what the symbol init is. And I'm going to steal... Hello, cat. There he is. Good to see you. Where was this? Build ram.ps. Let's open that. Let's steal this command. This is our assembler command. So I'm just going to steal this and run this so that I can see it complain about all of the symbols that don't exist. Is it this keyboard? Anyway, okay, so EQU does not exist. That is not a thing after all. Can I just define symbols? Oh my god, this cat's claws. I need to trim your claws, bud. I need to trim them so bad. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, you need to go. I love you, but you need to go. Sorry. That's really my fault. EQU, right. I think maybe I can just do it like this. Maybe. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. Right, because I have some 0-page things. So my SP value and result are result. Oh, you know what? I am a silly, silly fool. Let's see. 1 second. Yeah, if I go back to basic.asm, I was defining things in here. I already was. And yes, you just do it like that, you absolute dingbat. But I can also steal all of these values, all of these various floppy results. Let's just steal them. Sure. This seems fine. Apparently I don't know how to use anything. Yank. Put. There we go. Okay, so that should clean up some stuff. There's more things. FTC read success message, not defined. Init, not defined. And that looks like... Okay, so I've got 2 strings. String pointer is undefined. So we'll just steal them, damn it. Okay, so string pointer is 0-page address 3. That takes care of that. FTC read success message. FTC read success message, and yeah. FTC read success message. So all three of these. Yank. Paste. Actually, I should put these at the end. Properly. I need to find those ahead of time, don't I? Damn. I mean, well, let's just see. No, it is okay with that. Sector read attempt message. Let's yoink it. Okay, and in it, of course. So that is... We're gonna have to go over to... I mean, really all we have to do is take this file. I'm just gonna close it entirely because I want it to be like virginal so that everything is in the right places relative to each other. And then I am going to open my basic.asm again. And I'm going to find where init is. And .global init. And that should, if I rebuild it, expose that symbol. Or that, the address of that symbol. So, build ROM. And now that is done, where's my symbols.txt? It's hiding somewhere in this giant crap heap of files. There we are. What are you? You are F4D5. F4D5. So same thing. Init equals F4D5. And that should hopefully build. And it does. Lovely. What I want to do, now that I have all this code over here, is just do kind of a little sanity check, and before we ever get into that floppy code, I just want to do jump init. And that should, when we send this, just go immediately to the monitor, if everything is set up. So let me take you back over to NES land and run buildram.ps1 again. And wait. And be patient. That doesn't seem to have worked. Oh, wait. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we're working. Lovely. All right, so that's good. So now I can drop into the monitor from my code, which is nice. But that also means, presumably, this is kind of generally working okay. So you know what I'm going to do now? I'm just going to take that out. And the sweet thing about our little build loop here is I should just be able to take that out, save the file, reset the console, and run our script. And we should see it print the, basically, this is not working messages. Yeah, attempting to read a sector. And then it's just going to sit there. Because nothing should be working. Because firstly, we know this code doesn't work, and secondly, the floppy is not plugged into power, which is gonna cause trouble. But I think this is just gonna hang. Which, let us, yeah, it's definitely just sitting there hanging. So what's it supposed to be doing? So it prints the sector read attempt message. That's the attempting to read sector thing. Prints it. Then it runs fdc init. and sees if that returned a 0, 0. We're probably not even getting past the init, and there's probably a spot in there where it's hanging forever. Because otherwise we should be getting to FDC init failure. And FDC init failure is going to print that FDC init fail message and then fall into monitor. So let us simulate that really quick just to make sure that that's kind of... We're going to get through these things one by one. So let's go to the definition of FDC init. FDC init with colons. And what I am going to do... What is it looking for? Is it looking for 0 in the A register? Compare with 0. If it is not equal to 0. Okay, so we just put some value in A and hop on it. So, test remove load A, I don't know, FF, doesn't matter. And what we should get is we should get that first message, then we should immediately get the failed to read a sector message. Theoretically. I feel like the cartridge is not sitting in there well. Okay, run the script. I really need to make it like print some dots on the screen when it is sending. No, that didn't take. This thing is just a bit fudgy. It's not super happy with me right now. Fascinating. Hold up. Let's just do that one more time. Because that should be... Oh god, I'm so dumb. Well, this is why I'm glad that I can do this real fast, because you know what's the thing? Is we load FF into A and then never return. So we're going to need an RTS to return to the caller. That's why. Oh, look at this. Now we can just power off, power on, run the script. No fussing around with the ROM, no burning stuff. There we go! Of course, we have a literal /r/n, which is dumb, but it's only dumb. It's not a bug. Okay, we're getting places. Kind of. So we know that that means theoretically problems in the init. And what happens in the init? I'm wondering, like, because we can just do like some printf debugging here, is the thing. Like, we can just keep inserting, we could just have it, like, dump into the monitor, and if it doesn't fall into the monitor, we know it's hanging before that. So, for instance, what this is doing in FDC init is writing some shit up. Is this the VRAM weight? Because it's 8,000, oh no, 8,002, 8,000, low 8,000 addresses are the floppy controller. So it is storing 00 into 8002, which is probably to set the reset flag. From the very little that I remember about doing this, then it loads 10 into A and clears carry. Probably because it does 10 tries, or 16 tries. Yes, because it subtracts 1, then it goes to wait FDC reset. So, what I want to see Or wait. So it subtracts 1 from A, then branches if it's not 0 to wait FDC reset. So is this just like a timing loop? Is that what it is? Yeah, probably. Because it's probably, we're supposed to wait a few microseconds or so for that soft reset to take place. So I feel like this should be fine. But just to prove the concept, the thing we can do here is just keep going. Like right after this, I can just paste in a test temp. Oh god. I'm going to go get a better keyboard in just a second since this is all typing today, and I'm using this. I'm using this. So, appreciate. But yeah, so I can just do test, remove, jump, init. And what we should get is, now we can turn the thing off, turn the thing on, run the build script, wait a second, and yep, that hyphen means that it fell into the monitor, so it gets up to there just fine. But the great thing is, we can just keep delete, move, I mean, like, because we can do this just in, like, throughout the main stretch of code, and if there's an issue, if it's wait FDC IRQ, which it could be, then if we put this here, and it doesn't exit here, then we know that that's somewhere in there, and then we can dive into there. So let's do this again. Set, run, and so it's not that, it's not hanging there. Let's remove this as one nice big chunk. There we go. Send next sense int command, which is going to be another loop. So this is jumping into a subroutine. How should I do this one? So we're putting 4 in X, and then we're clearly doing a countdown loop. So we're pushing whatever's in A, jumping to this FDC sense interrupt command, which is going to send a sense interrupt command and wait for it to sense an interrupt. Or no, it sends 4 sense interrupt commands. Is what's supposed to be going on here. So anyway, that's supposed to loop 4 times. So either if it's hanging in here, or this loop never exits, which I don't think would be the case, but I'll put another one right here. And power off, power on, build RAM. And it's not that, so we can keep moving. Configure the floppy controller. Okay, so I'm wondering about, it could be one of these send FDC command guys. Actually, I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm a little surprised. Well, let's just do, because the send FDC command, like, subroutine here has a little wait loop in it to see if things should fail or not. But I'm fairly certain that, like, send next sense, or FDC sense interrupt uses the send FDC command thing. So I'm just going to skip those. I'm going to assume those are okay. Okay, FDC recalibrate. This is a thing that we have not checked yet. It could be something as simple as FDC recalibrate is not putting... Oh, you know, the weirdest thing actually would be if the FDC init code is actually running fine. I should have checked that in the first place, because what is totally possible is that, because I don't think we print a message if the FDC init goes fine. Hold on. So we call FDC init, and yeah, it's possible all that code actually is setting the A register to 0, and then it's just moving on, and we never print anything. So, you know what we can add that is not, like, be more verbose when possible, right? I should really rewrite that whole block as a macro, but I'm not going to. But let's make a new string called FDC initted message. FDC initted message. And then let's go write that. Let me also fix up these because this is gross. This should be this, and then let's just do byte 0A 0D. Oh, this is an ASCII Z though, so actually let me remove this. Do that here too, do that here too, so it would be 0A, 0D, 00. I'll just do that with all of these so that they all have a trailing thing. So that it has the string and then a line break. Wait, is ASCII not a thing? That would be very annoying. Or is it just like byte? It might just be byte. Let me try byte. And actually, if that works, this is all slowly coming back to me. I might just be able to like put the string and then a comma and then the rest of the bytes for the string. That might be a thing. Either way, let me also open this one with line feed carriage return so that we don't get this like, oh, okay, attempting. Just so it looks a little bit better, because why not? And then byte. Yeah, we'll just end with 0. Does that work? Do you accept this? Oh, I didn't have the code up. Anyway, I'm just sticking strings in. FTC initted message is undefined. That would make sense. Here, let me take you back to the code so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just cleaning up some strings, brother. But it doesn't seem to mind those bytes with string literals after them, so that is a win. Okay, what was it called? It is called FDC initted message byte FDC initialized. And let's just do 3 periods after that too. And prove my theory about being able to write a comma and more bytes after a string literal if they are defined as bytes. Okay, back to the thing. NES, power on. Build right now. Well, this didn't even start up, so that's going to be a bit of an issue. Yeah, that looks nicer. Okay. Oh, you not great cartridge connection. You wiggle when you jiggle. Let's just try that again. So it almost feels like the screen clearing is not a, it's literally something the code is doing. Okay. Interesting. Fun. What? But why? I'm curious. I'm gonna jump into the monitor, fall into the monitor here. Test, remove. Jump in it. Build that shit. No, it deigns not work with me this day. Still, better than the bugs we were getting before that were just like the random whole thing crashing whenever it decided to. This does seem like an improvement over that, if I'm going to be honest. Build ram.ps1. Okay, attempting to read sector. Blah, blah, blah. Huh. 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 Love it. That's cool. So is it failing in the floppy init then? I guess we never really clarified that. So let's make sure. Go back to where we were. FDC init. Here we are. Get back to where we were. Which was up to FDC recalibrate, right? Yeah, so we did FDC recalibrate and then we returned. So, let me do the usual. Test, remove, jump in it. And see if we fall back into the monitor. We do. So it's possibly the recalibrate loop, which I think would potentially make sense because very little of the rest of this is actually interacting with the floppy drive itself or attempting to. The recalibrate command, maybe, because it's like recalibrating the floppy head position and stuff like that. So. That is believable. Yeah. So it is something about the recalibrate loop. Good to know. Boy, this goes a lot faster. I am very pleased with this. So now, let's dive into the recalibrate code. Which means we probably also have like a, it's probably because the floppy isn't responding, we might have like a return to outer space issue here, like a stack corruption problem. Because I want this to work and fail properly if there's not a drive attached or it's not powered or whatnot. It shouldn't just take a shit. So let's just keep this up. FDC select drive. Booty boot. Booty boot. Booty boot. Boot. Build RAM. And then I should read some chat. Sean McKay at 7:31. Which, God, what time is it? It's 8, so a half an hour ago. Shaylin said, "Are you running a fan? Because it sounds like a chopper is coming for you. Also saying hi to your cat." I will let the cat know. And I can see, I think a lot of cat comments came up since then. Or around that point. Ian just said, cat emoji exclamation point. Oh, nice. You can do it. I believe in you. There we go. Okay. And try that one more time just to make sure it's not a payload transfer issue. Because that's one thing that I would not have expected, is it should just hang. It should, like... Okay, it is dropped from the monitor, so... We get that far. It is not FDC select drive. Interestingly. Okay, recalibrate. Bloody, 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 blue. So we load A with 10, try it 16 times. Pull A, blah, blah, blah. Let's check this recalibrate failed. Where is recalibrate failed? Because that is probably a place where stuff is going to get screwy. So I am actually going to, this may be ill-conceived, but right here, recalibrate failed. If the recalibration failed, I'm going to have it enter the monitor. So if it does weird bugginess or just hangs or whatnot, then we haven't learned anything. But if we get to the monitor, then I have learned that it is in fact getting to recalibrate failed, and possibly when we get to recalibrate failed, our stack is unbalanced, which could potentially be our whole issue. Or at least our whole issue with this right now. Because there are many more issues with this image. Okay, we are safe. We are ready to go. Q. Q. That seems like a bad code transfer. Still better by far than having to reburn my ROM. I will stand by this. Okay. We should at least expect it to say attempting to read sector. There. Hey! There we go. Theory proved. There is no other way that could have dropped into the monitor except for it going to recalibrate failed. So we are probably right, or I am probably right at that point. It is probably that our stack is weird and unbalanced when we get there, and when it attempts to return, the stack is all screwy, and the return address is all effed. So, let me follow this through then. Sorry, did I do that thing again where nobody could see any of my code? Sorry. Okay, so what I figured out is that, so it gets into this recalibrate loop just at the end of the FDC initialization procedure, and if the recalibration fails, which is mostly seeking the floppy back to track 0 and making sure it's at track 0 and making sure everything's in sync, it's supposed to return with 1 in A indicating that the recalibration failed, and was not a success. And yes, that's where I was. Clearly, it gets here, but then trying to return to where it was. That's where it just F's off into outer space. So, before I press on in that direction, let me read some shit. Suzuki said, adorable cat. I know these are from quite a while ago. I said, how absolutely shocked would you have been if it worked there, even without power? Yes. AIO had said, load A FF, load A 00, something tells me this test won't work. I'm not sure where that was. Maybe we'll get back there. I don't remember anything that was quite like that. AIO said, I have seen that in previous streams and always wondered why not a better keyboard. Oh, it's because this keyboard is way better for streaming because I can move it out of the way, it's wireless. if I want to like move away from this computer and do something. But and I haven't been doing a lot of writing, so it's been fine. But I think I will go grab my better keyboard in just a second here. Crypto CS guy said, I ain't watched this guy's channel in a while. Don't know if he finished building that Motorola 68K homebrew computer with CPLD graphics hardware. It's still somewhere in the works. I've definitely been working on that video card. Not super recently, but I've been working on it. Wareham said the 68K is a whole nother story. Yeah, the streams, they're just for the NES crap. Crypto CS guy said, I have Visual Studio Code open on my PC while watching a guy code on Visual Studio Code on his PC. That is a code and tongue twister. Suzuki says, reminds me of when I would code MS-DOS in Notepad. Spent 30 minutes finding which variable had 2 spaces instead of 1. Wish I had some copies though, as it was a text-based RPG. Oh, we have all been there. Many of the QBasic text-based RPGs written in our time. So the last bug I witnessed on stream was that crazy screen filled with garbage thing. Yeah, that was 100% because of the weird hardware that I had built at the time and it being noisy and bad and just shitty. So that has all been condensed down onto one nice little card now. And those bugs have gone away completely, which is lovely. Worm said, well, that narrows it down. That is true. Most of my streams have been random, terrible garbage all over the screen. AI said, recal should step the drive outwards until cylinder 0 sensor triggers. Yeah, more or less. It does a few other things that I don't remember. AI said, this dev process is way faster. He said, I knew it! It was radio noise! Okay. What was I going to do? Oh, let me get that fresh keyboard. Good keyboard. I am low on USB ports, so we'll just see how that works. Well, I guess I'm unplugging this thing, so problem solved. 1 second, let me grab its dongle. All right, now we just have to not lose this. I've had like 3 of these keyboards. Most of them have gone into disuse because I have lost the dongle. Because that's how that goes. All right, retired. Power off. Okay, I have the keyboard, but I need to find a USB key. Okay, cable. Oh, I don't have any mouse now, though, so that's going to be real fun. Actually, the way I have this set up, that should kind of be fine, probably. Yeah, I like this keyboard a bunch. It is a... Oh, shit, I'm going to have to remember how to... What the heck my hotkeys are. Hey, there we go. Okay. So here we go, out of focus, just in case you were wondering. This is a GMMK, I'm not a big keyboard guy, but I really like this keyboard. It's a GMMK 10 keyless with, I put Mac style keycaps that are really garbage. They feel good, they're just, the printing is kind of hilariously bad. But I bought those off of Ali. It's the only thing I have yet to buy off of AliExpress is this keycap set. But I like them, and they're comfy. And they are, for the keyboard nerds, they are, I think they're cherries. They might be Gatorons. Whatever GMMK uses. I can't remember. but they are browns because I like me a linear feel. And that is literally just because of the Apple Extended Keyboard 2. No other reason. I really like those keys. I believe they're Alps Salmons. Again, I'm not a big keyboard guy. It's just I used that keyboard and I loved it so much. I made a USB adapter for it. Absolutely love that thing. Anyway, as we were, where should I go? I guess here was fine. Okay, see ya. Jacob Cunningham says, "Damn, growing fleet of monitors." This is not changed at all, but I think that the camera angle has gotten a little wider. Fan comment is left channel static. That is possible. Let's see. That is plugged in quite firmly. Oh, also the thing is sitting on top of a computer, so it could just be the whole freaking computer humming. Anyway, I said I don't care about that, so I'm going to not care about that. Gotta stick to your guns, you know? Okay. Oh, Lord. Sorry. Mac keycaps are now screwing me up. All right, without a mouse, I have no idea how to get rid of this search dialog, so we're just going to ignore it. Oh, Jake said it's better. Interesting. Dave said, "Oh my God, the noise is gone." Nope, back. Jake said it's better. Is it better now? Is it gone? Yeah. So it's the computer that it was on vibrating. There you go. Okay, right. So we were doing stuff. We were getting Coke, and we were getting beer, and we were drinking them, and we were... Dave said, "I thought the stream ended." No, I took a pause. Okay, all right, okay. Temp remove. Okay. Oh! Things are getting a bit chaotic in here. That yanked my whole camera. Good enough. You can watch me type. Okay. So this is our first jump in it, which we are actually not currently getting to. That is our second, which we are currently not getting to. Read sector fail. I don't think that's the right one. Huh. FDC recalibrate. And we are at recalibrate failed. Okay. Apparently I already removed that, so. Oh no. What was the name of that file? Because I accidentally closed it. No mouse, a lot of fun. Apparently that did it. Okay, so right, we have to go through this code because what is probably happening is that we get to recalibrate failed and the stack is unbalanced. So we have to figure out what might be unbalancing the stack. So, God, we kind of have to hit. So we already checked. I put a breakpoint here and it didn't hit it, right? Because it's possible it's not entirely clear then. Because the fun thing is we've got this call to FTC recalibrate just above a return. So the question is the stack unbalanced here or is the stack unbalanced here? I'm not sure how. Well, you know how we would know? I don't remember. I'm going to put this back. Test, remove, jump init. So that'll go back to the monitor. I'm going to run this really quick. I had already done this, but I can't remember if it actually got here. And I think it didn't. If it doesn't jump to the monitor here, then that means the stack is unbalanced there. And I think that was the case, but well, we're just going to have to find out. Ribbit. Dave says, it's fine. Everything fine. Track 0, drop things counter ++. Okay. And oh, that's really pretty though. Somebody screen cap that, because that's, I should like make that a background on one of my machines somewhere. All right, so yes, it is when we're returning from FTC recalibrate, clearly, is where our stack is effed. So, back to the code. Thank you for humoring me through that test. Oh no, how do I? Okay, so I use Vim key bindings in Visual Studio Code, and the problem is when you are in the console, you lose the move window key bindings, or you know, like the change, like navigate through your panels. And I bet that there is a VS Code shortcut for changing your active panel. Shaylin said, saved it to PNG. Excellent, thank you very much. I think I need a mouse, is what I'm getting at. Ironically, oh no, I do have a mouse. But do I have enough USB plugs? There is no battery in it though. I found a battery. Hopefully it has juice. Seems juicy. All right, let me find where it's plugged in. Bear with. I'm slowly dismantling my actual desk. I hope you appreciate this. Ooh, where does this go? Where do we have any room? Yay, mouse. Now, real developers don't need a mouse, but I'm not a real developer, so it's okay. Now I can close this finally. Oh, that feels good. Okay, so now that we're back here, I can finally get rid of this again, because we know it's an FTC recalibrate. Okay, so FTC select drive, I'm going to assume it's not unbalanced there. That's assuming a lot. Okay, I'm just gonna dig deep. FTC select drive. Does this look like it could upset anything? This doesn't touch the stack, 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 returns. So it ain't that. I can feel good about that. Then we load 10 into A. We push onto the stack. So that's a push. We push, we enter recalibrate loop, we pull. Blah, 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 not stack, not stack. If it failed, then we jump to recalibrate failed and our stack, at this point, would theoretically be balanced. But let's see if it gets unbalanced after this. So we take what our value was A was, we put it back on the stack. One on the stack. Blah, 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 blah. Load A. Send FTC command. I'm going to assume that's fine. We've been using it a bunch in the rest of the code and it hasn't caused any problems. So gonna assume the stack is balanced there. I know wait FTC IRQ has been used elsewhere. I don't know about wait FTC seek. I don't know. Let's stick to the obvious stuff. Let's assume that these are fine. Just if we don't, we'll go through the top level code, and if it doesn't seem to have any stack imbalances, then we can dig into those. Not stack, not stack, not stack, not stack, not stack. And let's see. Just checking to see if we're at track 0, blah, blah, blah. And if not, then we go back up here. And at this point, we had an item on the stack. We pull it, blah, blah, blah. That looks pretty good, right? So I think we do have to take a look at some of these. Wait FDC seek. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm being so silly. I'm being so silly. I'm surprised that Dave hasn't called me out on this yet. What I can and totally should do is when we get to recalibrate failed, firstly make sure that I don't have any monitor entries that I have left. I don't think so. Yes, so when we get to recalibrate failed, plus temp remove, jump in it, but actually before that, let me go look at basic.asm because I had a spot at which I was stashing the stack pointer so that we can dump it. And Dave says he's in Ghidra 65CO2 hell currently, trying to map registers on a door controller PCB. That sounds totally normal. Okay, so where were we putting this? SP value? Probably. Yeah, let's use it. I know I copied that one over, so let us... what the heck is the command for... PHP? Is PHP the one for pushing the... There's a command for pushing the stack pointer. But I'm not a good 6502 programmer. 6502 instruction set. PHP. Push processor status. That's not the one I'm looking for. Push accumulator, no. Pull, blah, blah, blah. Processor status, no. I'm looking for the one with the stack pointer. Transfer stack pointer to X. You think that's actually a regular ass 6502 instruction? Yeah, Dave says transfer to XY, so yes. So let's use TSX. We'll use TSX and then stash X in TSX. X, and then store X, but can you store X to a 0 page? Store X. Yes, you can. That is one of the ones that is supported. So let's store X to SP value. Let's remember that is at 1B, and then this is going to drop us into the monitor, and it's going to have the stack pointer value stashed there so that we can then use the monitor to look at what was in the stack and see where we're unbalanced. If we were smart. I should probably have this reset, which I don't. Whoops. Okay. Oh, I wasn't thinking, Dave, about what instructions are different because of the weird RICO or whatever NES CPU. I was thinking, are they 65 CO2 instructions or not? Because is the NES 65 CO2 compatible? I was thinking it was not, but I could be wrong. Not having a ton of luck at the moment. Work with me. This is way faster until it's not, is what I'm finding. Something about, you know, your cartridge just being a bare PCB floating around in the guts of your NES, I feel like it might have an effect on stability. What the hell, man? This is acting the poopiest that it has all day. I feel like my little transmit wire is flaky. It's also very annoying because it's just past the lip of the shell. Remember what a great idea it was to close this thing up? I remember how good of an idea that was. This looks reasonably fine. That looks reasonably fine. We're taking the lid off. It's time. It's time. I was wondering if I should change that lead because it is very loose feeling. Let's just go ahead and do it. Why not? Come on, cables. I need a female to female. Hey, here we go. That felt much more positive. And transmit. Ooh, yeah. That feels good. I bet it's not going to work again, but... This is feeling very reminiscent of the everything just randomly going to shit that Werewolf was referencing. The random screen garbage. Because I swear to you, I am not doing anything here. Not doing anything different. It's like the second that I try and send stuff over serial, it just takes a poop. Is it my code? Did I do something weird with my payload? I think we need to go ahead and check some shit. I think we need to. I mean, I was gonna say, like, just print a string. But printing a string is, like, the first fucking thing it's doing. What is going on? Jake said, make a hot reload for a relay that keeps clicking it on and off every 5 seconds. I was just thinking, like, I should just connect something to the reset button, and then when I run the script, it'll just reset it automatically. But it would be nice if it worked first. You know what I mean? It would be nice. Yes. I guess, let me... Here. I'm going to save a copy of this. Somehow. You'd think that would be a very easy thing for me to do, but I am dumb, so. Let's just do copy ram main.asm to old ram main.asm. This, I'm just going to replace with Hello World again. Just in case. Just in friggin' case. Oh boy. I always forget how to use the string print, so... Okay, I feel pretty confident that it's not actually my code, but I figure it's probably time for a sanity check. Hello message. Hello message. And hello message is Ask Easy. Hi there. Okay, let's just make goddamn sure. Symbol init is undefined, you fool. was F45, 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 F45. F4D5. So potentially something about our code being hosed. Neat, neat, neat. Because that ran just fine. Okay, let's do this the other way around then. So I'm going to copy the current RAM main, RAM main.asm2. Hello, let's call it RAM hello.asm, and let's move old RAM main to RAM main. Move dash 4. Okay. And now, without having touched anything, let's reset, run build RAM. No. Nope. Nope, just garbage. Just crappy old garbage. And it is hanging, which is fun. So let's go back to where we were. We were at something. Recalibrate loop. And at recalibrate failed, we were going to hopefully jump into the monitor, which has not happened. So potentially things are still flaky. Let us check again. Fascinating. Okay, I know you can't see, I just changed it from saving the stack pointer value to just jumping to the monitor. Just cause. Save. Reset. Build RAM. Worm said maybe the disk format is shot already. I have no idea what you're intending to mean by that. Okay, and now it's just back to not running anymore. So that's fun. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to try and be very gentle and add those lines back in. Power off. Try not to touch anything. Very careful. Because it would be weird if it's just adding those two commands that makes it take a shit. Okay, here we go. Sweet. NES! NES, you bastard! You bastard! We were so close. We were so close. I thought I could trust you. Okay. All right. What? 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 It's just like so sensitive for some reason right now. Oh, come on, man. Dude. Okay. Lid is coming off. So I can keep a good eye on this cartridge. I think I might shove something in here to keep it pressed down a little bit. Okay. Ground. Yes. Transmit. Yes. Power. Yes. Shaylin said, when your NES is sensitive, just tell it everything's okay and you're a good boy. You hear that, NES? You're a good boy. It's going to be okay. You think my NES just has, like, after you run it for a little too long, it just gets tired. It says, I'm not doing this anymore, dude. Oh, I gotta get quiet. I can hear the wife putting the baby to bed. It's like the second it gets to the monitor, I breathe wrong. I'm curious. I'm resetting the FTDI thing for good measure. Run the script when the NES is not even turning on. All right, you are going to deign me a silly, silly fool, but I'm going to clean these contacts really quick. Also, is this crazy? Is this crazy? This is crazy. Perhaps less crazy than I think. Perhaps slightly more crazy than I think. I hope this is what you guys came here for. Okay. Now, be reliable. Sir, I said, be reliable. Okay, all right. It's in there with a good amount of friction now. All right, so we were going to dump. SP is at 1B, so I believe that should be 00. Nope, I don't type on this keyboard. I type on the NES keyboard. 00. Thank you for still working. Woo. 1B. I've already forgotten how to use this thing. FB. Okay, so I think it's only the FB I care about. So, and the stack is always at 100. So, let's go 01. Well, I'll start at FB. How do I need to do this? Yes, because I'm going to start at the end of the stack and we're going to print forward. So let's look at FB. 01 FB. Okay. So that's what I was trying to remember is what's on the stack is going to be the next available position, right? Does it pre-decrement? Does it decrement? All I'm trying to say is I think the FB location is not actually anything. So it's saying it's trying to return to 81C9, I think. Worm says pull out the Go Tech. We're not even there yet because we're really not even communicating with the floppy drive yet. Worm said, how the fuck did they send computers to Pluto? Suzuki said, it's strange watching someone do stuff I know very little about. It's entertaining seeing him work towards completing it though. Gonna turn in early, have a good stream and day night. Yes, thank you for tuning in at all. I much appreciate it. Toodles! So, anyhow, that's the part I'm not sure about. If we're off by 1, then, I mean, I guess, you know, what I'm seeing is, so that C981 definitely looks like a reasonable return address. Unless I'm clobbering the stack. Because I'd need a way to see if C9 or 81C9 is a reasonable program address. Because if the C9 is getting clobbered by something, yeah. But I don't know how I would check that. Oh, you know what? Really quick. You know what's a thought? Let me look at, because I do. ramsymbols.txt. I do dump a symbol table, and there are a few globals. So firstly, so code main is fairly big. It's 31B hex bytes in size. So 81C something would be inside of our code. Let's see, FDC init is at 8100, that makes sense. Is that the, no, attempt read sector is at 8100, that makes sense. FDC init is at 8182. So, I mean, because 8, AB, 8, 9, ABC. So that would be 40 hex, which is something like 16 times 4. 64? So that would be 64 bytes past the FTC init label, which seems reasonable-ish. I'm curious. One more thing I want to check to see if it seems at all reasonable is, let me go back to RAM main, and I'm going to make recalibrate failed a global, which making it a global will add it to that symbols list. Global recalibrate failed. Because the thing is, it should be, I'm also actually going to global FTC recalibrate. Because if 81C6, whatever that was, is, for that to be a reasonable return address, FTC recalibrate would have to be bigger than C6, because we're returning to, I know that code is up here. So it would necessarily have to be, FTC recalibrate would have to be bigger than C6 for that to be, this is the line that's calling it, which comes before this. So this really should be like, this should be like this would be, I can't remember how, again, this is a pre-decrement, post-decrement, pre-increment, post-decrement question. I can't remember if the address that goes on the stack is the last byte in this command or if it's this actual address. Don't remember. But anyway, that should be something like, this is going to be 1 byte, so this should be FTC recalibrate should be something like 81C8, something like that. If that is the actual, if that is the actual return address and is not cluttered. So now I just want to build that. So yeah, let's just run build RAM. Doesn't matter. And that will dump me a new RAM symbols.txt, and okay, so that is a good return address, 81CE. Now, I'm going to laugh if it's actually been fine and it's part of this flakiness that I hopefully have just resolved somewhat, and that it is not actually a stack issue. Let's check that really quick, too. So, yeah, that seems fine. That return address seems reasonable. So our stack might actually be fine. But there's 2 ways to find out. So, yet again, let us firstly find my temp, remove, and then go and get rid of these now that I've looked at them. And let's go back to the beginning, and yet again, actually right here, we should still, we should get our FTC initted message, which I don't think we will. We should get our initted message or our failed message. Let's see. Let's see if it's just that things were not quite so stable. We're definitely flying up to space. So one thing the next thing that I was going to try was literally just in FTC recalibrate, and recalibrate failed. Let's try it with an extra pull A and see if it doesn't screw up. And then I'm going to try it without a pull A and see if it screws up. You know, trying the obvious things. Okay, I think that was right. I think that was good. I think. Let's see. So when we go to, I think it printed the fail message, which is good, I think. FTC init fail. So, I mean, that raises the further question of why is that stack unbalanced, which I should find out, but looks like the stack was unbalanced. Yeah. And then I'm hoping it just took a poop because of bad code transfer. But that is trivial to find out. Let's just run it again. Because this thing is fucking flaky. Can you run donut.c on this? 100%, dude. No problem. I should really add a checksum to this or something. Because that would tell me whether it's the card itself or whether it is the serial transfer that is taking a poop. Needs CI/CD. Yes. Okay, interesting. I saw it drop into the monitor, which is not a thing it should be doing. Well, okay. This has been a session. I'm going to call it for the moment, because we've been streaming for a couple hours now. But here's what I'm going to say on my way out. The way I have rejiggered my schedule, I do want to do this every week again, is my hope. Part of the reason of this going so slow lately and having kind of crap results has been because I haven't, I've been doing this like once a month maybe. But I think the way that I've rejiggered my schedule lately should be better. So hopefully see you again next week, and I'm going to clean some cartridge connectors and we're going to try this again. All right. See you guys. Have a good one. See ya. Love ya.